Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. So today in this video, I'm going to show you the very most requested video, that is how to cut and stitch the shirt. So I just want this video to be simple and easy, that is even beginners can easily sew the shirt. So today this is going to be the raw edge of the shirt, that is the salvaged edge. And so this is how you have to lay the shirt. So you have going to fold the fabric in half and make sure that the open side of the fabric is towards you. And now the length of the shirt is left up to you. And today for this project I just took the length of the shirt to be 22 inches. So this length is absolutely left up to you. So till the 22 inches I'm just marking the line, and I just want a 2 inch of this flap. That is, this is the standard measurement. What it can be any size, but this 2 inch should be standard. This 2 inch of folding of the raw edge is nothing but for the button and for the eyes. Okay, so this fabric is going to be concealed in, and on top of that we are going to attach the button and the eyes. So for 2 inch I just mark the line, and from that 2 inch I'm going to mark the shoulders. So the shoulder is going to be 7 inches. Okay, and the shoulder height is going to be like a 6.5 inches, and I'm going to draw a line. So if your shoulder is like 7 or 8 inches, you're going to add 1 inch to that. And now I'm going to mark the borders. So the upper body is also same like that. We don't want the shirt to be too tight, so these measurements have to be altered according to your size. And make sure you add 1 to 1.5 inches all around, that is also to the height of the armhole. So normally I used to keep the height of the armhole to be 5 inches. So today for this project I just kept the height of the armhole to be 6.5 inches. So now I'm just drawing a straight line, and after from that straight line I'm just going to give a slight curve, and this is the seam allowance of 1 inch, and I'm going to do the same to the seam allowance also. Okay, so now the neckline width is going to be like 2 inches, and this is going to be standard for everyone. So if you are making this dress for 18 to 30 years, make sure you keep a 2.5 to 3 inch. So that is the standard measurement. You can't go more than that. That is 2.5 to 3 inch. Okay, so now this curve to be extended to that 2 inch of flap. Okay, so now I'm going to mark the shoulder slope, which is going to be like 1.5 inches. So I'm making this dress for my daughter, so just I took 1.5. If you are making this to be your shirt, make sure you take 2 inches. So now I have just closed that flap inside like this, and then you're going to cut into the neckline. Okay, so I just want this video to be as simple as that, so that even beginners have to try this shirt. It's very simple and very easy to make. And now I'm cutting the shoulder slope, and make sure that you don't throw that shoulder slope. So on top of that there is a piece of fabric on the shoulder slope, and I'll be using that fabric while cutting the back part of the shirt. So make sure you don't throw that shoulder slope. Okay, so now I'm cutting my armhole like this. Okay, so when I open this flap, and it's going to look nice and neat like this. So now I'm going to cut my back side of my shirt. So make sure you fold the fabric in half, and this is the folded side. And the key point over here is you're going to leave a 1/4 inch of fabric out, and you're going to place it like this. So this is going to be the neckline. So to the neckline you're going to leave a 1/4 inch, and you're going to place the back fabric like this. Okay, the back fabric should be inner to that neckline. Okay, so this is going to be a small adjustment that you have to take into consideration. So if you're not placing it exactly this way, it's not going to get that shoulder slope perfect. Okay, so now this is the neckline width. So my neckline width is 2 inch. So when I mark the neckline width for 2 inch, you can see it going to look like this. So this is the shoulder slope piece that I took from my front side of the shirt. So I'm just placing my shoulder slope on the back side of the fabric like this, and I'm going to just mark that. Okay, so it is just like a 1.5 inches so of shoulder slope. So I'm going to mark the same 1.5 inch of shoulder slope on one side. Okay, and I'm going to just draw a line. Okay, so now I'm measuring my shoulder. My shoulder is like a 5.2 inches. So same 5.2 inches should be kept on the top. Okay, so from the marked point of the shoulder beginning, I'm going to mark the 5.2 inches. And now you can see that the front shoulder and the back shoulder has a difference of like a 0.2 inches. You can see it's not even, and you're going to draw a new shoulder curve to this. Okay, that is the armhole curve like this. Okay, and you can see this much of fabric is over here, and to make that a small alteration, you're going to keep the front part a 1/4 inch of allowance on the open side. Okay, so now I'm marking my back neckline and I'm cutting this out. Okay, so after cutting the front and back piece, I lay and show you it will be perfectly matched together, and if you follow these steps, for sure you will get a perfect shirt. Okay, so that's going to be a small kind of change that you make to give a nice shoulder slope. So now my back piece is ready. So when I lay my back piece, it's going to be like this. And now I show you the front piece, and you can see it just sits exactly the same. And I don't find even a small inch of mistake over here. And this is the two flaps for the button and the eyes. That's it for the cutting. And now just like that, we are going to fold the button and the eyes piece together like this, and you're going to put a basting stitch on top of that. So once you sew the button together, you're going to remove the basting stitch which is sewn over here. Okay, so I'm going to do the same to my button and also my eyes. Okay, so that is the buttonhole. You're going to sew it like this, and now I'm going to join the shoulders together. So same like that, you can see it just came out perfectly in a right place. So that 1/4 inch, make that sure that you just leave that 1/4 inch on the back side, which is very important. It can be any size. Okay, so just like that, you're going to join the shoulders together, and you're going to sew that. So if you make the shirt for the first time, you might find it a little bit difficult, but after making 1 or 2 shirts, you would be used to it. And now you can see the shoulders are joined together like. So now I'm going to cut the armhole for this. So before cutting the armhole, I have to show you one thing. That is when I place my both the armholes together like this, and you can see the back part is coming front like this. Okay, so you have to center notch that point, and that point is going to be the midpoint of the shoulder and not the point where you sew the front and back. So that's going to be the midpoint, and I'm going to measure my armhole. So my armhole is going to measure like 8.5 inches. Okay, now I'm going to draw my armhole, that is the sleeve. So it's going to be like 8.5 inches, and I'm going to draw the circumference of my sleeve. It's going to be like 5.5 inches, and I'm going to leave like 2 inches, and let me curve that in. So these all is going to look resemble the same like you make your kurta or a blouse. It's just same like that, and make sure how tight you want, how loose you want. It's left up to you. And I'm cutting the sleeves and center notch the sleeve like this. So now I'm going to double sew the down part of my sleeve like this, concealing the raw edge inside. Okay. So I'm going to do the same to my both the sleeves. So sleeve is absolutely left up to you. If you want the shirt to look a little bit trendy, you can give a 3/4 sleeve and you can add a cuff to the sleeves. That's going to make it really trendy. So this is going to be the center point, and the shoulder point is not going to be the center point in the shirt. And make sure that both the notches of the sleeve and the shirt matches together, and you're going to start sewing the sleeves. So little by little you're going to sew the sleeve to your shirt, and you're going to finish this off. Okay. So now once it's done, it's going to look like this. So just join both the button and buttonhole part like this, and take the center point of the back part of the shirt like this, and I'm going to center notch this. Okay. So once I center notch, I'm going to measure from one point till the center point of my back part. So from the one point, and I'm going to go all the way to the center point of my back piece. So now it's just like 5.5 inches. So this is the canvas. This is a very much stiff canvas than you normally use for your neckline making. So I'm just going to mark the length of my neckline is going to be 5.5, and I'm just going to randomly draw a straight line to this. So now you're going to decide the width of the collar. I just want the height of the collar to be like 2 inches. So from the 2 inches, going to mark a 0.5 inch outward, and I'm going to draw a line little bit to give a beautiful shape to the collar. Okay. So from this point, I'm going to join to the down part of the collar like this. Okay. So now this is going to be the height of the collar, which is going to be like 1.5 inches. Okay. So the collar is going to look like a boat shape. So you can see from this point, I'm going to connect it to this point. Very easy and very simple to make this kind of shirt. So now before cutting the collar, I want everyone to pin that in place, or else just put a basting stitch before cutting. So even a small mistake in the collar cutting makes the collar looks really uneven. And this is a very thick canvas. So now I'm just cutting on the exact marking. And if you want the collar to have a little bit shape on the top, you can give a little bit of shape to the collar also. And you can see I just want the collar to be little bit shape on the top, and I'm just trimming out the excess canvas like this, and I'm giving a small shape. Okay. So now I'm going to place this canvas on a piece of fabric which is folded in half like this. And now you can see I have pressed my canvas firm on a piece of fabric, and I'm going to sew on the exact margin like this. Okay. So just like that, you're going to sew on the exact margin of the canvas. Okay, so all the canvas have a glue one side and it's going to look plain on other side. So I'm just pressed that canvas on my fabric, and I finished sewing this. So after stitching the collar, you're going to cut the excess fabric over here. Okay, so I'm going to cut exactly same like the collar shape. Okay, so little by little you're going to cut into the fabric, and you're going to finish it off, and make sure you notch the pointed tip of the collar. So now I'm going to turn the collar in, and to make that collar turn nice and neat, I'm going to teach you a small trick to take the pointy tip out of the collar. So make sure you take your needle and thread, and now I'm going to use my needle and thread to take the pointed tip. Make sure you get into the pointed tip to the maximum, and you're going to put the needle in and take out the thread half the way, and you're going to pull that tight enough, and you can see I just got a very neat pointed tip of collar over here. And once you get the pointed tip, you can take out the pin, and you can see it just looks really simple. So same technique I'm going to do to my next side. So I try to get into the pointed tip to the maximum. Once I done, I'll be pulling the thread like this till I get that pointed tip of my collar like this. So once it's done, I'm just folding the collar in half, and I'm just going to mark the center point of my collar. So this is going to be the center point of my collar. So make sure you give some notches to the center point on both the sides of the fabric. So this is like a basting stitch. I'm just want the collar not to move from the place. So I'm just putting a basting stitch. Once the collar is attached to the fabric, I'll be removing that. So I'm just sewing the fabric which is on top of my canvas. So now I'm going to attach the another side of the collar fabric to my fabric like this. So make sure the center point notched edge of the collar match the center point of your back piece like this, and you're going to pin that in place. So the center point and the button part is going to match together, that is the front part, and pin that in place. And you can add one more pin at the exact margin of the fabric. Okay, so whenever you sew the collar, make sure you pin the collar in place, and then you're going to sew to avoid lots of mistake. So once the collar gets wide, for sure you can't make that in the right place. So before sewing the collar, make sure you pin that in place and you sew that together. So now you can see I'm sewing that little by little, and make sure you match the fabrics together, the collar fabric and the shirt fabric, and you're going to sew at the exact margin like this. Okay, the seam allowance should be even from the beginning till the end of the collar, which is very important. Okay, make sure that you take the pin while you sew, and little by little you're going to sew the collar. Don't be in a hurry, and or else the collar won't sit exactly on the neckline. It's going to stand, and it's not going to look nice. Okay, so little by little you're going to sew the collar in, and now you can see I'm just going to fold the canvas on top of the collar like this, and I'm sewing on top of the canvas. Okay, so before sewing that, make sure you pin that in place, and you're going to sew the canvas like this. Okay. So now I'm going to go all the way up to the collar, and I'm going to put a stitch all around the collar like this. So now I'm sewing the down part of my shirt just like that. I'm going to double fold it, and I'm going to sew it like this, and same like that I have joined my sleeves to the sides and the borders together as you normally do to your kurti and your blouse, same like that. And now you can see my shirt is half the way ready, and now let me show you how to mark the button and the buttonhole for the collar. So I have just folded the collar in half to make a good look, and it just turned out really well. So to the right hand side you'll be having a buttonhole, and to the left hand side we having the buttons. So to make the buttonhole marking, so to the down part I'm just going to take a 3" and I'm going to give a mark, and same from this point till the collar end you're going to mark. Just join the fabric together and just give a slight mark over that point, and the folded edge of that fabric is going to have another mark. Okay, so again you're going to join this folded edge point till that starting point, and you're going to mark it again. Okay, so if you find it difficult, you can have a random marking, like every 3 inch you have to keep a button, so you can mark like that also. So but this method will have a very perfect look. The end result of the shirt, and it just came out really beautiful. So if you want to make this shirt trendy according to your skirt, all you have to do is you're going to give a 3/4 sleeve and make sure you add some yoke to the sleeve, and it's going to make the shirt really trendy. Also, you can try to make these kinds of shirt in crepe fabric, chiffon, and any kind of really a thin fabric, which going to go beautiful with your jeans pant also. In my next video, I show you how to attach a yoke to the back side of the shirt, and hope you like this video. So this is how I have stitched my button and my loops like this, and it just came out really beautiful. And if you like this video and if you want more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe my channel, and don't forget to hit on the thumbs up button just below this video. See you next time with a different kind of style. Take care. Bye bye.